In the previous video, we were talking about the average price of a stock. So now let's talk about the average temperature. So let's say you're boiling some water. You're boiling some water in a massive pot, where the massive pot is in the form of f of x equals x squared. So it's a quadratic here. Okay, and you're heating up some water. So this is your fire here, and let's just say this here is 100 degrees. This here is 95, let's say 80, 80, 80, and so on here. So you've got some sort of temperature gradient where it's really hot at the bottom and not so hot at the top. So you've got some sort of temperature gradient. The question is, what is the average temperature? Bear in mind that even though you've got even though the temperature is really high here, the volume is very small. Up here, it's not so hot, but you've got more of the not so hot. So let's just say this here is 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, and so on here. You've got a block here that's 100 degrees. You've got a block. Well, you've got two blocks here that are 95 degrees, 80, 80, 80, 80. So to find the average temperature of the whole amount of water here, you would have to do something along the line of, hang on. So the average would be you combining the temperature along with the volume. So you're really summing up all the temperature here. So something along this line here, and then combine it with the volume. Okay, and then you've got to divide it by the total amount of volume here. Okay, so hang on. So the overall answer would be, so what is the average temperature? So someone asks you, what is the average temperature? You would specify some sort of degree here, some sort of degree Celsius here, and then well, you can think of the degree Celsius as a degree over 1. So what is the average temperature? It would be some sort of temperature per unit something. Well, this per unit something would be your volume here. So the average temperature would be you combining the temperature with the volume here. So here you can see 100, but you've only got one block. Here you've got 95 degrees here. You've got two blocks, so you've got to combine the two. Here you've got 80 degrees, 80 degrees, 80 degrees, but you've got four blocks. So you've got to combine the temperature with the block. So the point is that you're summing up the combination of temperature and blocks and volume here, and then you're dividing it by the amount of volume. Okay. So in the next video, I will give you an example. But the so really we are going to sum up all the disks. In a way, we're summing up all the disks. It's not wise to sum up the cylinders. Well, when you come to evaluate this, it's easier to work in terms of disks. Because all the temperatures here are all the same. If you work in disks, but then if you work in cylinders, then it would be really difficult, because you've got a temperature gradient here where all the temperature changes along your cylinder. It's easier to work in terms of disks. Okay, and let's say this here is 100 degrees. This here is 60. You can set up in well, I will give you an example in the next video. Okay.